guys, let's talk about the art of slow living. I have about 5 tips. Some not practical, but if you stay with me, you get the gist of why you should learn to live slowly. We live in a world where we kind of taking time to be currency, time to be money. We've quantified time. So what happens is when we quantify time, we try as much as possible to spend it wisely. Now, when we spend it wisely, quote unquote, we try to get the most experience in the shortest period of time. And what that mostly leads to is a lack of depth in the experience. However, what slow living basically tells us is we need to actually aim for quality time, quality experience. So it's basically a philosophy that allows us to simplify things so that we can actually go out there to enjoy the great part of life. So think about it. If you're in the self-improvement space, you keep hearing about how we should make things fast, how we should take massive action, how we should work 12 hours, 13 hours. Yeah, I agree. There's room for hard work. But at the same time, you cannot overwork yourself thinking you will get the most results. Because mind you, like I said, people don't really think by default. But for somebody who has practiced and worked for long hours in a day, I can tell you from experience that that is actually not productive. Now, a quick story of what my brother said one day that kind of like cracked a kind of joke that we joked about for years is was expecting a girl to come over and we were cooking something in the kitchen. It was me, him, and a female friend. So he received a call that okay, she just left her house and she will be coming to his place very, very soon. So we kept on looking around at what could we do, clean up the place. The food was still cooking. Then he asked me, is there any way that we can make this food cook faster? I said, yeah. There's a method that I know. It's called burning the food. And everybody laughs and it's been a joke since that time. The moral of the story is there's a certain amount of heat you can apply to a food that cooks it well. And any temperature higher than that is just going to burn the food. And it's the same thing we see in life. We want to try to get everything as fast as we can. But for what reason? To what cause? At what price? Because it's coming at a price, whether I like it or not. So, in case you don't know, I'm building my startup. And in my startup, at first, we were thinking of raising money, raising some funds. And after looking back at it and asking ourselves, why do we really need this money? And I got this concept from a book called Rework. And he asked, why do people really raise money? They raise money because they want to grow the company fast. So why do they grow the company fast? Because they want to probably exit and cash out fast. So when you cash out, what next? They have a dream of retiring early, going to the beach and drinking. So now, after looking back at it, in reality, when they get to the beach and start drinking, they get to discover that that is actually not fun, that they want to get back in the game. But now they've sold what they built for years. Either they have to start from the beginning or they have to join the journey of somebody else. So if you sit down and zoom out, because that is what living slowly is, you're zooming out to figure out what do you really, really want. And it will help you to live in a very, very authentic manner because you're not really looking at society standards anymore. You're looking at what you want for yourself. What you want for yourself. So that's it. A few tips I think I wrote down is one, if you want to live slowly, ask yourself questions like, what do you really, really want? Stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop trying to be like everybody else. So the number one tip is you need to have daily routines. Daily routines. And to be very, very honest, you have morning routines, you have everything yada yada. But people misunderstand the idea of daily routines. Daily routines are not, or daily routines are not a thing of fad. There are those moments in your life that give your life structure. Morning routines, night routines, they are boring, quite alright, but they allow you to take things with intention. It is actually a period of self-care, quote unquote. And you would notice that you have to make these routines intentional. Like I said, they add structure to your life. And for those of you that don't understand the importance of structure, the body can stand because there is a frame called the skeleton. The skeleton lays the structure for the body. Without the skeleton, the body cannot stand. It will be like balloons. So now you're seeing the idea of having rituals, something that gives your life structure, precisely when everything is fast paced. So in the morning, have like a routine, have a structure. In the evening, have something. But these periods should be sacred periods where you enjoy doing those mundane things. Second tip is keep everything simple. Everything. And if you've probably been following my videos, you see the video I made about having the beginner's mind and trying to keep everything simple. Because the mind likes to thrive on complexity. It feels like doing simple things is not praiseworthy. That's why we would actually want to make things complex. And to be very honest, I've had this problem in my life because most of my problems that I have solved, I try to make them as simple as possible. Like this video you're watching, very simple. It's me talking to the camera and reading off some bullet points. Now, it's very difficult to teach people and charge them well something that is simple, because you feel like it's simple, they should get it, right? So, but the mind craves this level of complexity. So when you do things that are complex, you can thank yourself, you can brag about it. So keeping things simple, we also need to actually remove things that we don't really need. We need to take out the non-essential things so that the things that we really need have space to thrive in our lives. So we see this on the mental and physical plane, where we have a lot of baggage. What I mean baggage is this. In your physical space, if you look very well, you most likely have things that you're not using or you will never use. Same thing with your mental space. We need to declutter our physical and mental space. We declutter our physical space by getting rid of things that we have not used. If it's your wardrobe, take out clothes that you have rarely ever worn. You declutter your mind by having a goal, a life goal, and removing things that weigh those life goals down. And just to see how making things complex is when you're traveling, imagine you carrying a backpack and putting rocks for every funny thing that you never need. For example, for your mental space, you're learning a skill that you know is useless to your vision, to your goal. Then why are you learning it? You're just adding more rocks to your bag. Same thing with the physical space. When you have all of these clothes around, heck, in my own case, I have a very few colors. I think if that is the case, because to be very honest, I like clothes, but I keep a very few colors. That's okay. To be very honest, I still have some clothes that I still have never worn. I think thanks to Pareto principle, I'll keep trashing them. But these days, ever since I try to get clothes, I get to the store, I make sure that clothes I'm going to wear, even though I select 20 pieces, I end up going out with 3 or 4, because to be very honest, stripping away things that you would never ever use will give you mental clarity, and it's one of the best habits that people rarely talk about. Next tip is having leisure time. In our culture, we kind of take leisure to be like a bad thing, because we keep hearing stories of people who work 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day, 15 hours a day, and we acknowledge that as, well, super productive. So, but when you talk about leisures, they make it sound like, oh, so you weren't working, you were resting. But to be very, very honest, if you look back at anybody who has had creative solutions, mind you, there are people who have problems and who brute force themselves through that problem. But the people that come up with the best solution, their simple technique is that leisure. If you have ever engaged in normal mental productivity advice or productivity tasks, you get to realize that when you hit a roadblock that you've tried to solve and you leave it, you go and do something that gives you pleasure, what you would realize is, for some very strange reasons, you would see the answer pop into your head. That is the job of leisure, to take tasks to the background of your mind, to solve it on your behalf. So when you engage in leisure, you get to do tasks that are interesting, that is enjoyable, that would immerse you in. So this could be working out, it could be partying. But please watch your habits and watch what you put in your body. Just basically activity that you truly enjoy, and they give you a net positive life. At the same time, leisure should not be seen as laziness. Those are two completely separate things. So when you're lazy, you just have unused potential. You don't know what to do with it. The energy is just there being wasted. But regarding leisure, is you're making it conscious. You are actively taking a rest, knowing fully well that it's going to supercharge you for your next productivity session. So please check my video on productivity advice destroying people to get more tips on that. Then another tip we have is you should be patient. You should be really, really patient with the process. We always want to get there fast. People want to be billionaires. Hey, I would like to be rich when I'm young. Yes, it is good. This is why I say I'm a big believer in quality and quantity. However, set goals that you really, really like and you really, really love, and commit yourself to the process, to the action. Just like my brother could not increase the fire, could not double the fire to just shorten the time of the food, it's the same way you should not just assume that more action equals to more output. I mean, it's the same thing if it may be correct if you're dealing with physical labor. So the more you move objects, the more you can produce. But like I said, if you're dealing with the mental space, you need to be patient. Be patient with your results. You can take action, but just like another story I think I heard, which I love, is the farmer, while watering his plant, knows that if he pours too little, the crops might pass away. If he pours too much, the soil will get eroded. So he pours sufficient amount. So knowing fully well that you are patient, you got to realize that you don't have to rush things. You don't have to force the process. You don't have to force it. There are things you can do to speed it up, but being patient. Like I always say, speed, getting things fast comes at a cost. And very, very honest, most people do not see that cost coming. That is why it's very important to zoom out, to see things for what they are. Now, to cultivate patience in your life, make it a conscious effort to actually put yourself in cases where you have to wait. So for example, join the queue. Embrace, just be in that queue. You can be thinking about things while you're in that queue, but just enjoy the process while you are queuing up to either buy food. And trust me, if you start this process, you get to realize that everybody's in a haste, and then you know that when you work with patience, that you're going to get results no matter what. You're going to get results, and you're not going to get the results that will make you burn out. Because you see people who risk their health for wealth, and then when they get the wealth, they try to buy their health back. It's like, that looks like stupidity to me. I mean, but it's not what they are consciously doing, but it's a subconscious behavior. And I discovered this with my dad just before he passed. So for another day, the last tip is you need to become mindful. Some people see this whole mindfulness as a cliche, but to be very, very honest, it's one concept that will supercharge your life. When you're mindful, you're being present, you're being aware in the moment. You're not caring about the past, you're not caring about the future. And if you don't want to take anything from this video, take this idea of being mindful. It will drastically improve your social skills. It will improve the way you talk to women. It will improve, recently I've been noticing women on my channel, but mostly men. It will basically improve every single aspect of your life when you are present, rather than thinking of the future or the past. Listen to your environment, listen to your body. Go out there, be in connection with nature, and unplug from technology. So, a recap: living slowly does not mean you're not enjoying things. No, it's that you are focusing to enjoy quality quality pleasure rather than short-term or fleeting pleasures. So what's quality pleasure? You're achieving goals, you're learning skills that will progress you forward. Fleeting pleasures are food, adult activities, and whatnot. So work, like I said, I'm a very big believer in hard work. At the same time, I also believe in leisure and relaxation to recharge and become creative. So you have to make rest intentional. So also, you should not seclude yourself. You should not seclude yourself. That you don't have to stop doing the things that you actually enjoy, but make it time, be present in what you are doing, and trust the process. So guys, that's it. A quick caution. If you are a beginner in any task at hand, you do not really need to take things slow. Why? Is because in most cases, for people to get that identity, for people to find their direction in that system where they are new at, there will need to be some form of aggressive action. But the moment you get the gist of it, for example, if you're new to creating content, you may have to create a lot. If you're new to speaking, you may have to speak a lot more. When you get that gist of it, you can now begin to take things slowly, fully be aware, fully present, and that is actually how to get into flow very easily. You have done the task so much that your skill and challenge are a perfect match. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Talk to you soon, and bye for now.